Our topic today is corporate ethics. We'll be going through, after this study, students should be able to understand, proper understanding of what corporate ethics. You'll be able to have an overview of the theories that underpins it and also be able to understand how decisions are made. Also, we're looking at, after now, you look at definition, theories, and case study. What is corporate ethics? Corporate ethics has to do with the issue of conduct, an assessment of conduct, acceptable conduct, generally acceptable conduct, morally acceptable conduct. And that's what this has to do. And this has to do with organizations adhering to this conduct, doing things in a better way that will be of for the betterment and for the good of the community or the society. So when we talk about corporate ethics, you now see that it has to do with the aspect of behavior, as it were, the behavior of the organization in the society, the behavior of the organization in the society, and that they are doing the good and the good things in the community. Now, you might want to ask, why is this important? It's important because for you, you're going to be managers of organizations in the near foreseeable future. You need to begin to understand the issue of your own decision making, your own, when it comes to the issue of ethics, your own behavioral decisions, what underpins your values and the things you do, because this will influence the organization that you manage or that you are responsible for. So we have some ethical theories here. I'll just look at some and we'll just advance. Let me pick on the utilitarian theory, for example. And in this utilitarian theory, that is the aspect in which we are looking at the moral good decisions that are made based on, for the betterment, as it were, of a larger population, a higher number of people. And this is based on the fact that when we make decisions, we are seeking to make decisions based on a pleasure or a happiness. That is the aim, the desire that we want to achieve. However, this particular theory is saying that decisions should be made for the betterment, for the better good of a larger population of people. And say, for example, if you, for example, you have your birthday coming up and you enjoy food from Thailand, for example, but because your family members don't fancy that kind of food, you prefer to defer to them to go to a Chinese restaurant, which would be for the more acceptable of everyone. And that is you putting this into your decision. However, there's a drawback to this theory, in which it has to be with a repugnant conclusion, in which the fact that that decision you've made actually infringes on the rights of someone else. And that is one of the drawbacks of this particular principle. That is one of the large drawback of this principle, that infringement is a question mark, in which that makes people not to add to, or query this particular principle. Let's look also at another one. Let's look at deontology theory. Now, this theory states and postulates that the people that are making decisions should adhere to obligations and rules. In other words, obligations and rules should be adhered to when you are making a decision, that has to do with ethics. Now, that is the assumption, and this is because Kant, who postulated this, was looking at this based under the ambit of imperativeness. However, there's a drawback to this. The argument that people have postulated, which is put as the moral inflexibility, is the fact that they, when you are trying to make a decision of adhering to a particular rule or a particular obligation, the question is, what is the rationale? What is the rationale for that decision? And because there's no rationale and there's just no logic, scholars have questioned and queried this particular kind of methodology, as it were, of making a decision. Okay, so you can look at the other one slide there. Let's go on to the next aspect of looking at the case study of ENRON as an example of an organization, a corporate organization that actually went into problem because of the challenge of corporate ethics. So in the case of Enron, Enron was it was a very large American organization, but because of dubious accounting practices, this organization actually was into energy, was into commodities and servicing company in America. However, because of falsifying profits and other things like that, this company actually had to went bankrupt, and because they went bankrupt, it led, it was a big scandal. And interestingly enough, this particular organization, while they existed, had received quite a lot of awards as an ethical organization, as an organization that adheres to ethics, that holds on to ethics. So it's quite a challenge to see an organization that's been awarded by series of people of being ethical now going bust because of falsifying accounting practices, and falsifying their profits, which led to their problem, which led to the challenge. And so that comes into question that for you as a person that will be holding on to organizations or heading organizations, you need to begin to look at your behavior. Like I mentioned earlier, the decision you are making as a person, you have an agency as the person running an organization. You see, the person who is the head of the organization has an agency to run that organization in a way that will make sure that the organization serves the better good of the people. So we have looked at the definition of ethics, corporate ethics. We've looked at some of theories and a case study. So thank you very much. Bye.